Laugh or else.
We now join the following program already in progress.
Yeah, and he actually passed on recently, so.
Yep, and he's they replaced him with a woman, right?
I'm not sure. I don't really
follow. I believe
follow.
the new singer's a woman.
Yeah, it could be. Like, it's a brand like Kiss, you know? It's just
yeah, exactly. They're
going to continue on forever and ever. Unfortunately, guys, I didn't start recording until about a minute ago.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, the replay is going to suck. Sorry.
I think we missed my awkward intro.
All right,
Yeah.
so for the replay,
like
the recap, I'm Moore, this is Angrous, this is Timmer, and this is Jay, and Mike's doing sports today.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll get to sports later, but we got a lot to talk to you about, man. I mean, you got some big stuff coming up, a couple of big shows, the Subterranean show you wanted to talk about. Like, everybody that's been through here is playing at Subterranean.
Subterranean is the quintessential hip-hop spot in Chicago. You know, they've been doing it for a year, so it's always a good vibe there. And we're doing July 3rd. You'll see the whole crew in Watch City there. That'd be a great night for you to come out and get acquainted with us, because it's a free show. It's 606 open mic after our featured performance. So if you've never been to a 606 open mic, it's the longest running hip-hop open mic period, from what I understand, definitely in Chicago. And there is a freestyle open mic after the featured act, so you'll get to see a Watch City performance for free, which is always dope. And then you'll get to see artists rap everything that's on their mind without pre-writtens, and the audience is kind of the judge of how long you get to rap for. So it's a really interesting format, and I'd highly suggest anybody come out. So that's at Subterranean. It's on North Avenue in Wicker Park, Chicago, right at the Six Corners.
Sounds kind of like it's going to be an Apollo setup with a Sandman come sweep you off if you're no good.
Kind of. It's like they just
count you down.
They four count you down, and that's it. Once the audience counts you down.
Oh, that's it? You're going to count down?
You
get decapitated.
Yeah.
Excellent. That'd be something to go check out for sure. Make sure you go look that up. That's July 3rd, correct?
That's July 3rd, yeah. It's a Tuesday night.
And then the following day in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we're going to have a late night July 3rd, because that one starts at 10:30 at night. So we're going to, go party a little bit July 3rd. And then we'll wake up and we're going to head out to Milwaukee. We're doing Milwaukee Summerfest, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with, and everybody who's not. It's actually the world's largest music festival. That's according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So we're doing July 4th at 2:25 p.m. on the ground floor stage. It's right at the South Gate. So if you've ever been to Summerfest, or even if you haven't, look for the giant instruments. So there's like a big drum set, big statues of instruments. The stage is going to be right near there. We'll be on at 2:25. You could catch a whole lot of bands, both local, national, international, at Summerfest, and it's only like $14, I think, for a full day.
Yeah, I've been to Summerfest before, man. Always
good. Yeah. So this will be probably my 5th time back, but first time as a performer. So
it's good to be on the other side finally.
Absolutely.
Right. Excellent, dude. And so when you perform there, how much time do you get in a set?
We got about
I assume there's going to be like 3 or 4 stages, right?
Well, at Summerfest there's way more. There's like I don't know an exact number, but I want to say there's probably at least 10 plus stages there. And there's big acts that are playing.
Sure.
J. Cole's playing this year. The Weeknd's playing this year. Dave Matthews Band. Tons of huge international acts. So there's tons of stages and tons of music. Those the huge ones in the amphitheater are an extra cost on the ground floor stages.
Right.
But still, always a great deal.
Excellent, man. And so you already got a track list, I presume?
Oh, yeah. And you were asking, the time. So we're doing about a half hour at each event. They give us a half hour. So,
about 5 or 6 songs?
No, songs. My songs range anywhere from, some of them are longer, but some of them are like interlude tracks, kind of, that last about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So it makes room to squeeze more in.
Sure.
So yeah, Sub T is, we booked it as a Watch City show. The Summerfest one was booked just as a Moore event, but I've got all the guys coming out to guest on the set. So we're gonna do some new stuff, a couple older tracks that anybody who's coming out that's followed Watch City over the years is gonna recognize and hopefully get excited about too. So yeah, we'll be doing an extensive representation of our catalog.
Excellent. It's gonna be a good time for sure. Like you said, monumental amount of bands as well as artists gonna be performing at Summerfest. So check that out if you're looking for something to do on the 4th. So I presume you're gonna be playing stuff off of your Shop Local album.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like that's your most recent album, but you got an upcoming mixtape coming out, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so the mixtape will drop soon.
Yeah, you know what? I actually just got the reason I haven't put a release date on is because I'm waiting for the artwork back. But I just got a sketch of the artwork today, and it looks dope. I should have it by next week or so. So as soon as I get that, I don't like to really put a date on anything until I got all the details ironed out.
Of course.
So as soon as I get that back and finalized, I'll throw a date. But it should be pretty soon. It's called Late Work. It's actually a compilation of a lot of tracks that I recorded between like 2013 and as recent as 2017. Just songs that didn't come out for whatever reason, whether they didn't fit with the albums that myself or Watch City were doing at the time.
Sure.
But I went back and listened to them, and I was really digging a lot of the sounds, and they got an aesthetic to them that's it's hard to capture the same vibes that you had 3, 5, 2, whatever years ago.
Right.
So I just really got excited to put those out, and I didn't want to keep sitting on material that I felt like was good stuff. So that'll be coming out soon. Kaz, who's another Watch City member, he DJs, does great work scratching. So he actually finished already. I got the masters back. Blended, laid some scratches on it, kind of hosted, so to speak, glued it all together, made it seamless. We're going to put that out this summer. And yeah, Shop Local came out last year in May. That's still something that we're pushing as well, and there's been singles in the meantime coming out. So, as you may know, rap game's kind of crazy. You got to just always be ready with new material.
Yeah,
so
you got to stay relevant, otherwise you fall off. Man.
Yeah, so even as projects that are already out are still being promoted and pushed, there's still new material coming out in the meantime.
Excellent, man. You just keep hustling, dude.
Yeah,
and I can appreciate your message. A lot of it's positive. I can't recall if I heard any swearing in any of these tracks, man.
It's there, it's peppered in,
yeah,
but it's I'm careful with my word choice, I don't intentionally not swear. I would say, but it's I guess that's the best way to put it.
Kind of a crutch to a lot of people. Like if you don't have any ideas or if you just need to continue like a bar.
Yeah, exactly. And I just believe that everything should matter, So it's like sometimes you say a word, and if you said "oh heck" or "oh darn," it's gonna sound corny. Sometimes you need to swear because I swear in regular life. I think most adults do. There's a time and a place where that's the emotion that you feel.
Right, and you want to convey that emotion
exactly, and I don't want to,
and
I don't want to, put a watered down version of that emotion and intentionally not swear because of that. But yeah, I'm just, careful of the words.
Darn it!
Be like TBS trying to censor Scarface.
Melon farmers.
I know, right?
And
you bury those cockroaches. Gosh darn it!
Or like the BET movies. Where they like that paper soldiers,
mother
change everything.
Got it all down a heck there now.
Yeah.
And I also, once I got some opportunities to play shows at like community events and at libraries and things like that, and it's like they want you to keep it clean. So in the past, it was a little bit harder because I didn't have as many songs early on that were completely clean. So it is that too that I'm conscious of. Okay, the more universally accessible the stuff that I'm making is, the less opportunities get shut down. Because if you make a certain type of music, then
you box yourself in.
Right. There's certain opportunities that are going to be closed off to you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's always a better plan to be able to work blue, or blue meaning like you swear and stuff. And or if you got to work clean, like you said, because there might be a corporate event or something somewhere.
Absolutely. So being a musician, just trying to be a professional musician in this economy, you kind of have to be.
You got to have cards up your sleeve
as you can. Yeah.
Look at you busting out the lingo from the Sinatra era. You're never going to make it, kid, if you start working blue there, right? You got to keep it clean. You got to keep it for the wholesome white folk. Come on, man.
That's right.
You got to keep it clean. They don't like that blue stuff there, guy.
The blue stuff. Doesn't get you paid.
Doesn't get you paid, kid.
Doesn't
It's
get
show
you
business, baby.
Doesn't get you on the Late Show with David Letterman or whoever's out there
Johnny
now.
Carson?
Yeah.
There you go.
Carson.
Eric Andre.
Yeah.
There you
oh,
go.
man. If you're on his show, you're in trouble. You better expect
Didn't Flavor Flav try to sue him and stuff for making him look like who was
He
it
got
that
kicked or something like that?
Chicago's Hannibal Buress like kicked him in the face
Yeah.
and he pulled down his pants. He's like, "Yo, man, what kind of show is this, man?"
Yeah. Hannibal's nuts, too.
Yeah, he is.
I love that show.
And that's a funny guy.
What percent of the people who go on that show don't know what they're getting into?
I wonder
Most.
that. I wonder that, you know.
There's a few people that come up really surprised. Like I guess they go along with it, but the more that it makes it obvious, then he pushes the envelope. He'll just have people fall from the freaking rafters and stuff, and he'll start getting naked, and he'll go full frontal. He doesn't care, man.
Well, there's a few who definitely do like Chance the Rapper and people like this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
in,
there's
like,
some where you could tell it's a little more choreographed.
They're in like a
Right.
bathtub.
Uh-huh.
You know, he said they try to choose people that
Right.
That'll go along.
they don't do research on their interviews.
Yeah.
Oh,
so they
yeah.
purposely pick people like that.
Yeah, and they've got to figure it out at a certain point. You know, once that first that second crazy thing happens, you got to
Right.
realize, all
Yeah.
right, this is not.
He's those generations like Tom Green, man. If you remember when Tom Green used to
yeah,
walk
absolutely.
everybody.
I used to watch that. Yeah.
And he's like, but he starts going with the fear factor too, though, man. He'll start pulling out snakes, and people just start freaking out.
yeah,
Yeah.
very funny show, funny comedian.
He's a funny guy, man. He
Yeah.
is.
It's always cool to watch him when he's around, like out in public too, like when he's doing those things in the
Political
like.
things, yeah.
Or
the
even,
ranch.
Ray went up to Alex Jones.
I didn't see that
The
one.
politician or what was it? He went up to. What was that?
No, or the one in the art studio where he's knocking over the like $1 million sculpture.
I remember the one where it was a pro-Trump rally, and he's like, "Are you just doing this for ratings?" He's like, "No, sir. I want you to make love to my wife. She's at this hotel. Here's a room number. Here are the keys. She's there waiting for you. We're into this lifestyle."
Yeah. Can I call you Moore or Andrew or what do you prefer?
Either
man?
way, well, so in personal life, I'm typically going by Andrew or Moore or whatever people know me as. But when I'm performing and releasing music, I go by Moore. So we'll roll with that for the night.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you're also into community activism. You were talking about.
Yeah, well, really just involving. So Shop Local, to get deeper into that, was a community-made project, and I really just wanted to do a few things with it. I had this idea. I read a book called Making a Living in Your Local Music Market. So it just got me thinking about, I have a wife and a daughter, so I'm in Elgin, and I'm happily in Elgin, but I'm not as I lived in Chicago for a while, and there's obviously more going on and a little more opportunity. And that's, without having the family ties, you could travel freely, do anything you want, right? So life changed a bit, and I had to adapt. And I knew I'm going to lay some roots in Elgin, so I wanted to make sure that the town was a great place to be and had a nice art scene and a nice hip-hop scene, and, kind of build upon what Watch City's already started there and what Side Street Studio Arts, who's an arts organization there, has already started. So I went and wrote up this plan for a project that would embody visual art, audio, everything, just everything that it takes to make a great album, from the booklet, music videos, everything. And I wanted the merchandise that goes with it, the designs for that merchandise. I wanted to do it all in-house in Elgin for a few reasons. One, like I said, to harvest that community and like get some collaboration going. But also so that when I do travel and go out of town and do tours and things like that, that I could say Elgin and leave off the part where I say like, yeah, it's like 40 miles west of Chicago. I want to make it into a place that's like, okay, enough great artists have come out of this town that it's like, like an Austin, Texas, or an Athens, Georgia, or something that's not necessarily a big market, but it's very known that there's great art that comes out of that place.
Sure.
So I went to the Cultural Arts Commission in the city, and I applied for a grant, and I got it, and I used that money to commission the artist. So everybody who was working on the visual side and everything else was getting paid. You're getting paid indie artist pay. It's not like it's a crazy amount, but I just wanted, and that was a part of it too. That's the shop local aspect. That was one part of the title. Just I wanted to shop local and show people who I know for sure that some of these artists had never been paid for their work before, you know. So I wanted to just show people that what it feels like to get paid, even if it's not huge numbers, you know, just get paid for your art, and that you can do this, and that, you know, we have this going. You don't have to be in a big city. Not that Elgin's small by any means, you know, it's 100,000 or so people, but you know, you could do this anywhere you are, especially in a place like Elgin where there's artists all around, and where there's an art lofts, apartments, and an art studio that you know works in the community. So it worked, and I got 20 artists involved total. Each single has a different piece of artwork that goes along with it that a different artist did. Angrous worked on the production. Cool Kennedy, another artist out of Elgin, worked on production. Kaz, I did some of it. We had mixed, mastered, recorded, everything, all in Elgin. All the Stay Ill got sponsors from the town, so it was really bought into by a lot of people. It went great, really better than I imagined from the jump. You know, a lot of businesses bought into the idea and wanted to be a part of it. So that's how some of the funds came in, to get, you know, all the merchandise and to pay artists beyond just the cost of the initial art, because there was videos and photography and everything else. So yeah, as far as the activism goes, you know, that was I'd say that's the main focus as of right now, outside of just being a good person and I guess, like you said, a humanitarian, and just doing the right thing and making sure I'm not screwing anybody over or you know, trying to get over on somebody in order to get higher myself. So just living the right way. But yeah, so really working in community and kind of just trying to spread that idea of working together to achieve something great.
That's fantastic, man. Like a grassroots effort to put out a CD.
And it's about time that Elgin gets recognized for some cultural things. You're enriching the culture there, man, letting them know. And the only time you usually hear about Elgin is like about a class action lawsuit or something, man. Against the city or the cops or something.
The mayor, embezzling
basically
money.
Everything, yeah.
I think the last thing was the painting downtown that they tried to say was racist.
Yeah.
What's up
as
with
far
the
as for
painting?
art, it was depicting a lynching scene, man, and they just threw it in, kind of like fast food restaurants, without even checking. I'm like, dude, you're not even checking the wallpaper, man.
Right.
Come
they
on,
just commission
now,
him,
man.
and they just let him do his thing.
Right. Oh, they're like, oh, this is not gonna offend anybody. Come on, who remembers anything from 60 years ago?
Yeah.
So and
there's people still alive, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that that's a thing now, just from talking to people who are in the Arts Commission. There's been a discussion on what they should do with that paint, if they could give it back to the artist in good faith or not. And you know, because it's like and I just read an article that they need to be, that they're being very conscious of, you know, where any community funded piece of art is going, because they are installing art projects now around the whole city.
So is this thing racist? I don't know what it is.
Well, it's up to interpretation, I guess. It's literally there's a photo of somebody being lynched, and with, you know, a white man, a bunch of white spectators, and a white man pointing up at it with, you know, an evil look, kind of just a sinister look, and it's like he painted that.
Well, what it is one side of it is a bunch of white people looking at the other side of it, and the other side is a like multicultural ethnic like parade, almost like it's a bunch of people like on the other side of it. So this isn't from an
actual moment in history. This is just like, hey.
It was. Yeah.
It does depict a real thing that happened.
Right. They ended up putting next to the actual depiction in a book, the actual old vintage picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
it was a painting of the picture essentially.
And it was up for years, and so because the image of the lynching was gone. It was just the image of the white people and the guy pointing that was the mural.
Right.
And the one that Angrous referenced, the multicultural one, actually I found out was from a different artist altogether.
Oh, so it's like the cross view of like today.
But the artist, it wasn't the same artist.
Right.
So it's, you know, it's open to interpretation, whatever the intention was.
So that's probably a good reason to keep it up. You know,
maybe, but they took it down because there was enough people who weren't comfortable with it that they took it down.
I think it was pointing, like I remember it did show them pointing, but it was literally pointing at the other painting. And I remember when that story ran, like I was kind of frustrated with it because they literally only focused on that one. They didn't focus on the full, like
the full alleyway if you walk through,
right? Because it's more than just one painting. It's also a kind of like a group of art, rather that forms one big piece of art rather than focusing on the individual pieces of the art.
Well, what better way to get attention than for clickbait, you know?
Yeah, and I think maybe that was like he was ahead of the clickbait era and like in like the generating things out of like taboo or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I just look at it like it's kind of like the classic argument of like the misinterpretation of the arts. Like that's like art is open to interpretation, but also it does a lot of the time have a meaning.
Right.
And I think that that meaning shouldn't get lost for clickbait. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great way to create dialogue between people is to have them talk over art, man.
And it did that. I mean, I can't say it didn't do that.
And like you were saying, for years it was there without any
Nobody's
trouble.
Yeah, and then somebody noticed it and they pointed it out, and then Fox News did a story on it, and it was like blew up. What I didn't like is that they just kind of like it was like a witch hunt for the artist without like even talking to the guy. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like I want to hear what they have to say about
right. Why
it
not?
before,
Why not hear what he was thinking when he created it or is conceptualizing it? Like,
because why believe the truth when the lie is more entertaining?
That's exactly the world we live in.
You explain it to one person is willing to rationalize with it.
Yeah.
You explain it to a group of people, it becomes mass hysteria.
Right.
Look at Under Fullerton off of 90, man, the Jane Addams, about that watermark that looked like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
People were actually dedicating flowers and candles to it because they thought it was literally an appearing. And then some schmoke just had to come with a bucket of paint and just throw it over there. And basically, people were crying. And yeah, man, it's that power of, it's that mass hysteria, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's that groupthink mentality,
right?
Man. Like the mob rules,
right?
Can be dangerous.
Sure,
that's exactly what happened in Elgin.
I get out of parking lots at concerts so quick because everybody sits in their line, and I'm like, yo, look, we could just go turn around, go the other way, drive this way, and we'll be out. And it's like nobody thinks of it because they just think, well, everyone's going this way.
Right, we got to go where everybody else is going.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But if you just think for a second, logically, look at the, you know.
I do that in fast food drive-thrus when they tell me a price I don't like.
It's just turn around and go.
I just go the other way. Keep it moving.
That's it.
You want $12 for a burger and fries?
Yeah, I'm gonna find somewhere else to eat this burger and fries.
That's what I do at Dunkin' Donuts too. I'm like, you charge how much for almond milk? No, I'm good, man.
For a splash, even.
A splash.
Yeah,
right?
your corporation could eat that. It's okay.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. So yeah, we're gonna play some tracks off your. Is this all off of the Shop Local CD?
So I think I included like 7 tracks or 6 tracks from Shop Local, and then I got 2 other singles on there, and then one I'm premiering. So you want to do something off Shop Local?
I actually kind of threw together a few tracks right away.
Okay, whatever you want to play.
And the first one we're going to play is Stay Up, man, if you want to talk about it
cool.
a little bit.
Yeah, so Stay Up, that's actually my most recent single. So that was produced by Cool Kennedy. Selwyn Hansana did the video. He's done a few videos for me. All of them turn out dope. I love the work that he does. So you can see the video, youtube.com/more847. That's MOORE 847. The track's also on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, all that, as is Shop Local. So go ahead and search More Stay Up, or even more specifically, if you search More Shop Local on any of those major platforms, you'll get taken right to my page.
So what was your concept behind the video then? Like
the concept behind the video was, for one, kind of just to have an overall dark imagery to it. Secondly was just this idea of like a video within a video, kind of. The idea was like people are watching their televisions or like on their computer, and these images of me performing the song are just like popping up everywhere. So you see it in popping on the TV screens or like on somebody's laptop while they're doing the work, and they're kind of shocked, and at first they don't know what to think, but then as it goes on, they become like hypnotized by these images. So I guess read into that as you may. Yeah, but that was the main idea behind it, and then also just the idea, the concept of the song is kind of about staying up all the time and being on the grind and kind of not getting enough sleep. Right. So that was part of the depiction too, of just like red eyes and being tired and kind of looking crazy.
The tireless pursuit of prosperity.
Right, and kind of and there's just an underlying like this kind of just a melancholy vibe to the video.
For shizzle. So we're gonna get into this one. It's called Stay Up, and it's from More, and you're checking out the WNUR-FM freeform programming here on 89.3 FM. Stay tuned, because on the other side, we're going to play 4 tracks right now from more. And on the other side, we'll talk about the tracks that as we heard them. So check this one out. This single is called Stay Up. And you can find this on YouTube, and we'll share it on the LOERadio Show Facebook fan page. So if you want to follow along at home, please feel free to do so. Check this out. Stay Up. More.
Laugh
or else.
Hey, this is Big J. Okerson, and you're listening. That's hilarious. Hey, this is Big J. Okerson, and you're listening to Laugh or Else Radio. I don't know what the else is, but I'm looking at this guy, and it's probably involving butt stuff.
Laugh or Else Radio Show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radioland. Fortunately for LOERadio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
That's right, kids. We're back. It's Laugh or Else Radio Show at WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. My name is Tim Radicek, your freeform community DJ, and I'm joined in studio, as always, with my road dog, my sidekick, the mixologist, Jay Sal.
That's right. We're here, second hour, y'all. Please stay with us. Thank you for listening in.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch more show coming at you, and we got some special guests in studio. We got Moore and Angrous.
Yes. Watch City Crew.
Watch City Crew. There we go. And as well, we got one Mr. Mike, the intern.
Mike, the intern. There we go. Is that what you're comfortable with that title there?
I'm very comfortable with that. I've been an intern like 4 times already.
Oh, yeah? Whereabouts?
Corporate, and then Chicago Red Stars women's professional soccer team.
Hey.
Nice. Yeah. And let's just say I'm sick of being an intern, but I like the nickname for now.
All right. Well, as you develop a character here on the show, man, we'll give you something else.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's worse things than being an intern. Just ask Monica Lewinsky, man. There's some things you can do as an intern, some things you shouldn't do.
Stay away from the cigars.
Yeah. It's like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah. Excellent.
I don't know where that came from, Jay.
I don't know either, man.
So we checked out a couple of tracks from Moore off of his previous release, and that one's called the Shop Local or Shop Local.
Yeah, Shop Local. Yep.
And as we discussed before the break, it's kind of a community effort to put that album together. Is the same thing going on with the late work, or was that?
Well, so late work was. Yeah, I mean, essentially, yeah, because late work was all, like I was said earlier, all songs that were done, a few years back that are just, I'm kind of digging up from the vaults to release now. And as far as putting it together now in the present, I remastered all the tracks, and then I sent them to Kaz, Watch City member. He blended them, put some cuts on them in Elgin, so that's all in-house. And then Chad Mito is doing the album art. He has roots in Elgin as well. So yeah, I guess I didn't plan for it to be that way, but yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a continuation.
Yeah, and it's just also something to give people who have been fans of Watch City. We started Watch City in 2010. So there's a lot of people from Elgin and Chicago specifically who know Watch City or saw Watch City in a certain era and remember a certain sound, and I think these songs are kind of reminiscent of that time because they were made during that time, and I think the people who know us from them are really going to enjoy it.
How long has Watch City been around?
2010 was when we put out our first music. We did something called that we deemed the 12 Days of Christmas, and we put out a song in the 12 days prior to Christmas, and the last one on Christmas Day. And at that time, the group was super deep. There was like 12 people or so, maybe more. I don't know, but it's dwindled down since then. So 2010 is when the group started. We started doing shows around then, and been at it and evolving and kind of changing and adapting with our circumstances ever since. And now we're in a great position, I think.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, like Milwaukee Fest or Summerfest is a huge venue. It's a great place for some exposure.
Big opportunity.
Yeah, so you can check that out July 4th in Milwaukee if you're so inclined to do that. But why don't we talk about like the new project, man? Like you said it was a bunch of tracks that didn't make it to other albums. What kind of decision making goes into that? Like,
yeah, and I don't even know if I would dub it with some of them didn't make it to another project. I guess more of it is just sometimes when I have an idea for a project, it's like I'm making songs specifically for that. So any songs that were made that didn't already fit that are just kind of standalone songs, unless I do something else around it. And I'm sorry, what was the other half of that?
Oh no, it's like when you're putting a track list together for an album, like how do you decide what tracks go in what order, or what tracks don't even make the album?
Right. Okay, so it's kind of just for me it's always been a fairly longer process until recently. So stuff that's coming out beyond late work, the stuff that I'm working on now, has been more of a fluid process of kind of just writing songs in a row to put towards a project. But prior to that, even Shop Local and projects I put out before, White Men Can't Rap, I put out an EP that was streamlined the same way that I said, all in one kind of session. But a lot of it is first just writing songs. I think that's always the beginning of it, writing songs without any concept in mind or without any idea of where it's going. And then once there's a few, it just naturally a few start to blend together and feel like, all right, these go together. This one goes with this one,
right,
and this one and this one. So then once there's 4 or 5 tracks, then it's easier to kind of create songs that fit the direction of the project.
Right. Okay, that's cool.
But with late work, the one that's coming out, it was, this is kind of a compilation of just songs that I listened to that I felt were still held up, that I hadn't heard them in a long time. So a lot of these are songs that we performed at Watch City shows for a long time, and just they got recorded, but they never came out. So now they're gonna come out.
That's a funny title too, The White Men Can't Rap, man. It reminds me of the album that came out. It's White Men Can't Jump. The all hip hop soundtrack to that, from all the hip hop songs, was actually called White Men Can't Rap. So it's pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, the one that I did, I came out in 2013. It was my first project.
Nice.
And it was with Kaz, who mixed this late work. So that's also kind of a throwback to the early stuff that we were doing as Watch City. But White Men Can't Rap that was another one where I had these songs, and I knew I wanted to make a full project, but I didn't have an idea. And one day I was sitting there watching White Men Can't Jump.
There you go.
And I was kind of really identifying with Billy Hoyle.
There you go.
And I'm like, man, I should just call my project White Men Can't Rap. And so from there, I took the songs and I started making other songs around the movie, kind of,
right,
that had something even loosely to do with the movie. And then there was clips from the movie.
Yeah.
It went in the same order as the movie, like there was clips, and it took you from the beginning of the movie to the end. So it was kind of its own. It was like an audio version of White Men Can't Jump.
That was a great movie, man. That just celebrated, I forgot how many years when it came out. Very well done, man. But yeah, it's kind of like you saying like that, like White Men Can't Rap, but here you are, man, and you're laying down some dope beats over, some dope lyrics over some dope tracks, man. So.
Yeah, and that was just kind of the at that time first coming into it. It was like, I don't know. I feel very comfortable at this point, but I think it's a transitioning period going in. So I did, like I said, identify with the Billy Hoyle character.
He's like, don't you want him for Brady Bunch? He's like, the youngest one in curls.
You don't look like you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. That was basically the idea.
Billy, I want a screw.
Yeah, no, Billy, it's not omnipotent. My favorite part is when the guy goes like, then he's like, you better get my money. They're betting on the basketball game. He's like, you better get my money, man. He's like, I'll be right back. And he goes, hey, give me your money. Raymond, is that you? No, this ain't Raymond.
All right, what he sells him the gun?
Yeah. He's trying to sell him the gun. He's trying to hold him up first.
Give me 200.
I know.
But now you're robbing me.
I know. He's like, hey, man. He's like, you need yourself a gun. There's crazy asses out in the street, crazier than me.
Yeah.
Ron Shelton, man. Great sports writer and director, man.
For sure.
Great movie.
I believe you guys.
You haven't seen it?
Not a fan, man. Wesley Snipes before the tax problems, no?
I never seen it.
Are you
so
serious?
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
know what it is.
Woody
but I just never
Harrelson. You
watched
know
it.
White Man Can't Jump, Mike, right?
I've seen it a time
You've
or
heard
two.
of
Yep.
You've heard Tin Cup.
There you go.
You've heard of Bull Durham. He did all those movies, man. He's
Yeah.
king of the sports writer. Sports comedy, romantic comedy. He's done all well. Guys movies, man. Really funny stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Word.
for sure.
I take y'all word for it.
One day it'll be on cable. as
You'll
you
see it.
cruise the
You'll
channels.
see it.
Yeah.
It's always on, man. You
Sure
can't
is.
miss it, man.
It's-
Rosie Perez.
It's
a
kind of
good
like
cast.
it's like the basketball version of Major League.
There you
know?
go. There you go. It's a buddy comedy, man. It's
yeah.
Wesley Snipes and
Who was
Ameri-
also in
Harrelson.
Major League.
right.
Rosie Perez.
America's favorite pothead, man. Woody Harrelson, man.
Didn't they all join in on the Money Train movie too?
They're on Money Train. They also remember the movie Wildcats with Goldie Hawn.
Oh,
The one
yeah,
filmed in
yeah.
Chicago where she plays the high school
coach.
female coach.
Yeah.
They were in it too, man. Very young Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes for that matter.
I take y'all word for it.
Not a movie guy, huh?
A little bit. I just don't usually watch sports movies like that.
Nah?
And, sometimes I watch sports, but even then, it's on and off. You know, I keep my head usually buried in the music. You know.
I got you, man. There's good music in those, man. I'm talking Main Source, man.
Yeah,
that album is like Main Source had that song, man, talking about all these fake rappers. You're faking the funk.
Is Live at the Barbecue on there?
hoopla. No, not that one. Just faking the funk. When he's going off on all the rappers, he's like talking that gangster hoopla. You're probably a punk. And he's like, when brothers step up, they get smoked like blunts. You need to be locking the trump and your word up. They're faking the funk. Oh, it's a great song, man. 1992, man. Amazing. 90s, man. 90s hip hop,
That was
man.
the year I was born, bro.
What's that?
90.
1992.
I was
Young
born in
cat.
90.
Young cat, man. Youngin.
But I did have the first Main Source album.
There you go.
The one where they're like, it's like the three of them on it, and it's like splitting atoms or something.
We have like every generation here. Man, we have 70s and me, Timmer with the 80s, you with the 90s. Hey, Mike, what's your decade of birth, man? Can you hear us? Mike.
2000s. He might not be on.
Can you hear us? Whoa.
1996.
There he is.
1996. That was when the best Bulls
best
team ever.
Bulls team
Yes,
ever.
you
96.
said I caught most of
96
Jordan's
Bulls.
prime, huh?
I
yeah.
actually remember. Those are some of my early memories watching the Bulls win championships.
There you go.
72 and
Actually,
10.
yeah, I kind of
Right.
vaguely remember that too.
Greatest team ever. LeBron, F you, LeBron. You'll never be that good, man.
You
said-
heard it here first.
You said
right.
what? You said he's just as good.
I said you'll never be that. Yeah, right. I said you'll never be that good.
Oh, you say he's better?
Angrous, the
Better at
instigator.
flopping. I think him and Cristiano Ronaldo, man, been like exchanging notes, man, in the World Cup, man.
You said he's the best player ever
Ever.
to
I don't
play
know
in the
about
league.
that.
I watched.
that will ever play again.
He's the best player in the league because it's not named Kobe Bryant. How's that in the modern era?
Anybody watch World Cup games?
Yeah.
So I watched the tail end of the Mexico game
There
today.
you go. Mexico!
They beat Poland.
Man, super. They beat South Korea or
In
North
Germany.
Korea
They
or
beat
something.
Germany. They beat the
Yeah.
Republic of North Korea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like last year's like finalists or
Right.
something.
I
So
know. Yeah, I know that's one thing. I'm like, come on, man. Trump, man, just don't worry about the wall. Let these families stay together. Mexico beat Korea, man, who you're trying to beat, dude. Let them in. He's like, okay, I'd like to invite the Mexican national team just to the White House for snacks, and then you have to go back.
what I was getting at was the flopping.
Yeah,
The flopping, right? In soccer, it's
That
crazy.
happens a
Like,
lot,
isn't it,
and I
though?
don't really watch soccer outside of the World Cup, and
Right.
even
That's the
so,
best
it's
thing to
like I'm
watch,
just
though, man.
checking it out
For
here
sure.
and there. But yeah, it's crazy how much
Yeah.
acting is going on
Big
in
time, man.
in
Big
big
time.
soccer.
It's easier to get a
games.
yellow card than it is
Right.
for a flagrant in basketball.
What's the saying, though, guys? You ain't cheating, you ain't trying?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but you
Ask
take a
the
look
Pa-
at a guy
ask the
like,
Patriots.
Yeah.
Ask the Russians.
What were you saying, Mike?
you take a look at a guy like Neymar who gets hit and he takes maybe 4, 5, 6 spins on the ground. That's brutal.
That's like The Rock getting a freaking Stone Cold Stunner on him.
Uh-huh.
He's doing the backflip.
Right? Yeah, it's literally WWF
Good God, man, he
style.
got Stone Colded out of his trunks, man. Come on.
That'd be a funny video if you took like soccer flaps and you put like JR and Jerry the King
yeah.
Lawler.
God almighty,
Yeah.
he killed him.
Yeah. Hey, put him through a table. that is a good idea. If I had any kind of creative abilities.
Oh, you come on.
video
You have
editing.
it coming out your pores, man. You're good like that.
Not with like some Photoshop though.
Yeah.
Like that'd be the thing to learn.
What we don't have is enough time on our hands.
That's
man.
exactly right.
That's
We're
exactly right.
working adults, man.
Absolutely.
And it's glad that we get a chance to come here and talk shop about music and everything else. And
Definitely.
to prop up some local artists that are making some news and doing some things around the city as well as in other states, man. Like, at what point did you think, like, man, I'm starting to make some waves? You know, like when you're getting offers to do big shows like that, or
honestly, I think when for me, when I put out White Men Can't Rap and people were responding to it and a lot of people really liked it, that's when I just started feeling like I was on the right track and this is what I really should be doing. The fact that I put all this time into an idea and it's like you're really, at first you're kind of, and every time I feel like this, actually, anytime I'm putting out music, it's just, you're putting it on the line like you don't even know, like you've only showed this to like the people who you made it with, and you know, I got a close circle, like Watch City will hear it, and you know, a few people close to me will hear it, but so you're kind of always just putting it out there on the line. But the more I've done it and the more that people have responded positively to it, it's like I just trust myself, and it's you know, I don't doubt that anything that I think is gonna be good is not, you know, because I've done it enough times, and you know, my crew has done it enough times to realize that just we make good art and good music and people like it, and there's nothing to worry about, and we could just do our thing, you know.
Have you ever gotten like a nod from like a mainstream artist, like or you ever cross paths or work alongside somebody?
I mean, we've done a lot of stuff with, you know, people who have been in the industry. We went on a tour with GLC, who was on Good Music, and he was on Kanye West's first 2 albums.
Sure.
We did shows with J. Rue the Damager, a few shows on tour with him.
That's crazy, dude.
AK from Do or Die, I booked for a show one time in Elgin.
We opened for Twista.
Yeah, big up, man.
We opened for Master Killer.
Damn.
We've brushed shoulders with some people, you know, like.
How does an opportunity like that come around? Like they're just happening to be doing a couple of shows like Friday, Saturday, Sunday or something, and they're looking for local talent?
I think really it's more of us just like, sometimes people will have a certain act in mind or like a certain vibe that they want for the show, or maybe it's the fact that, you know, they've seen us bring out numbers and also put on a good show, you know, so they know like, all right, the security's there of a fan base coming out,
right,
plus it's going to be a good performance,
people are coming,
so that's great on their end. So it's kind of just when people see us as the right act to get on the show, then we get on the show. We did Camp Low recently in DeKalb. That was another one, you know, they just sent us a message if we wanted to do it, so kind of just comes as it comes, you know.
This might be a personal question, man, but have you gotten paid to do any shows?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
It's definitely, it's especially now it's like
just got paid to do a show yesterday.
That's awesome.
There you go.
How rewarding was that first show to get paid?
Yeah.
Well, we were fortunate to get paid early on, actually, because we threw a show and like packed it, because we had so many people in the crew, man, and we were like fresh out of high school, so we had all our friends and everybody was coming out. So we threw a show and literally packed the place like nobody else would fit, and we made money right off the bat. But I realized, like, I think we got like $300, but it was like a $10 cover, and like all these people were there. I realized when I did the math, like they probably got like $1,000, you know, and we came over here and got 300.
Like when you bring 200 people to a venue, that's when you can start saying like, okay, we want the door or the bar,
or
like,
or both, you know, like a percentage of the bar and door,
because all these people are gonna be drinking, man, and they're gonna bring you like 7, 8, 9,000 for the evening.
Yeah.
So you can give us, you know, G maybe.
Right. And I mean, there's free. We do a lot of like benefit shows and things like that. We're doing August 11th is the annual Demo Strong Jam. We do that to commemorate our friend Demo and to also raise awareness of autoimmune disease and the Demo Strong Foundation, which helps those with autoimmune disease and with funding research. Yeah. So, you know, there's if it's a good cause, you know, we do things like that as well. Or, you know, sometimes it's just like a community event. We want people to come out, have a good time, so throw free show. Just don't worry about it, you know. So
yeah,
there you go.
Giving back as well.
Absolutely.
You know, it's very respectable for artists to do something like that.
Yeah. But you had to get paid, you know, and there's enough in order to do it sustainably and like be able to do it, because if you can't just spend all your time being creative if there's no money coming in, because eventually,
money,
you have to spend money to do it for one, and then you have to pay bills and be a regular functioning human.
Yeah, that 808 ain't cheap, man.
Right.
You gotta produce them beats.
So it's got to come in, So you and then there's a lot of promoters who are just trying to pay in like promotion, like, oh yeah, well you'll get your name out there, or you'll get some respect. It's like,
favorite way
all right, well let me give my daughter that feed my daughter that promotion sandwich. See how full she is.
Hey, yo, Nationwide, I can't renew this month my promotion check.
Yeah. My pocket's emaciated.
Let me pay these bills on all these compliments I be getting.
Right, exactly. So people try to take advantage. People try to take advantage of artists. Like there's a lot of there's some good people doing it who just do it for the love of the culture and to make what they should make. You know, the percentage they should make for putting in the work they do. Right. But then there's other people who just exploit it and want the artists to do all the work and bring all the people in.
Well, think about how the mainstream operates, though. Like these publishers get giant amounts of cash from a huge artist like Drake, and Drake's only getting whatever percent of all of that.
Yeah, actually, I think Drake is probably like an exception to that, because he's one of the few artists that I heard he actually owns his own masters, so he's probably making great money off of him. But
somebody told him what's up.
99% of artists. You would be correct. It'd be like Drake and Michael Jackson are probably in like the
Ray Charles, man. Ray Charles in the movie, he said that he was one of the few artists to own his own masters. TLC, man, when they were at their peak in the early '90s, man, working for L.A. Reid and Babyface were broke artists, man. They filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, Babyface. I've heard some stories, man.
Yeah. I just watched the documentary. It was about like hired musicians that just play on studio albums and stuff. But they talked about Billy Joel, how his manager screwed him out of millions of dollars, and he was broke. He was like one of the most successful top-selling artists, and he was just dead broke.
High school, college dropout, but he's got so many doctorates because of all the music that he's composed. Man.
Right.
Industry rule number 4080.
Record company people are shady.
Yeah. That's how it is. You just gotta kind of keep your eyes open and try to.
That's what man, you stole my thunder. I was about to say that right now. Check the rhyme, y'all. Absolutely, man.
We're in sync tonight. It's good.
That's nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's about time we take our last music break, and then on the other side of this break, man, if we're lucky enough, we might have these guys perform in studio.
Right.
If they're down for that.
Let's do it. Oh, man.
So I'm going to play Why We Don't Talk Anymore.
Why Don't We Talk Anymore, yeah.
And this sounds like it's a track about a girl that you may have had a situation with.
No, it's not actually. This is a track about we have all these like screens and social media platforms and all these ways to stay in touch, but for the most part, a lot of people don't even really talk anymore, like face to face in person. It's just like all through a screen. So it's really about that.
I mean, how much easier is it to text somebody than to dial them up, wait for the phone to ring?
Yeah, definitely. And
it's a matter of convenience to a degree.
The convenience, right? And the convenience. I think there's a time and a place for convenience. It's a very relevant thing. It makes life easier and easier to get more things done. But when the convenience factor takes over actual relationships with people, if you start to lose that and there's not even a real human connection anymore, it's just all through things get lost in translation in text. You know what I mean? You may not feel the intention of what's supposed to be said.
You take it wrong as well.
Exactly.
Like, you can be misinterpreted the other way.
Exactly. So it's kind of just about that, about getting back to, not abandoning technology or social media. I mean, I think they're obviously ingrained in our lives, and they're going to be. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it could easily be a bad thing when it becomes more important than real life. So there's kind of a statement on that.
Also in this block of music, you're going to hear the song Shy. This is the newest one you're going to be putting out.
Yeah, that's actually the first track on Late Work, which is the compilation project.
But when does the official release for Spotify and everything happen?
For Shy and for Late Work, honestly, I don't know. I think it's going to be within about a month, but I don't want to put a date on it because, like I said, I want to get that artwork fully back and
so we can say
ready to
before
go.
The end of the summer.
Definitely before the end of the summer. Definitely.
Most excellent. So check that out. It's going to be premiered here. That one's called Shy, but first is Why Don't We Talk Anymore from More. And You're listening to WNUR-FM, Evanston, Chicago. This is the Freeform Programming and the Laugh or Else radio show. Check this out.
The Laugh or Else radio show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radioland. Fortunately for LOE Radio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
Hi, this is Ron Function. No, that's not my name. Use this whole thing. This is Ron Funches, and you're listening to Laughs or Else. I don't know what the or else is. I assume it's like crying.
Well, back. WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. This is the Freeform Programming, and you're checking out the Laugh or Else radio show. Joining me in the studio, as always, is the mixologist Jay Sal.
That's right.
And Jay Sal brought a buddy, Mr. Intern Mike.
Mike the intern, about to give us some sports, man.
And we're also in studio with guests, MCs Moore and Angrous. Guys, you can talk.
Watch City.
The Watch City crew members, big-ass crew, coming at you live right here on 89.3 FM. We are going to talk a little bit of sports, and then after that, these guys are going to grace us with a little bit of live stuff in the studio.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mike, can you hear us?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to turn this radio down a little bit for you because we're having trouble hearing you. Go get him, Tiger.
Let's do it.
All right, so I wanted to start with the Bulls draft. They had the number 7 pick.
Carter Jr.?
Which, Wendell Carter Jr. from Duke. And the number 7
Not
pick.
a Duke fan, to be honest.
Oh, hate Duke. Can't stand him. And he kind of played second fiddle to the number 2 overall pick, Marvin Bagley Jr. So he never got the full run that he really probably deserved at Duke. And he'll definitely have an opportunity to come into the Bulls and make his mark next to Lauri Markkanen. He's a center who's 6'10", 260. And, he's got a lot of potential, but something that he doesn't have is the potential to be a superstar, and that's where the Bulls kind of missed out, and they needed to tank a little harder.
What makes you say that? Is it like, because he's a big man, he's got decent footwork, but he's more like shoulders and bump off in the paint kind of guy?
Exactly. So he's a complimentary center. He's not a guy who's going to take that last shot.
Yeah.
As of right now, that's not who he's projecting to be.
So the Bulls fail with this pick.
I wouldn't say failed. I think he can be a guy who comes in and gives him like 6-7 solid years, but he may end up being a trade piece. And
he'll be a New York Knick in no time.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully not. Hopefully Garpak's got the Garpak's. I'm referring to the front office.
Of course, the two-headed monster.
Yep, monster being an understatement sometimes.
The Bulls are the Avengers and Garpak's are Thanos.
See, I've never seen the Avengers, but I know how bad that is.
You got to hang out with this guy and do like a bunch of movie dates and stuff, man.
I know, right?
Yeah. Avengers was
movies,
the bomb, dude.
Slapshot, Major League,
Rocky, Creed.
Yeah.
See, I've never seen Rocky either.
Oh man!
Wait, none of them?
And as a sports guy, I know that that's not
That's
acceptable.
blasphemy, dude.
I know, right?
Well, Rocky 4 Part 2 is coming out this Thanksgiving called Creed 2.
Creed
Yep.
2.
Yeah.
Creed's fighting Drago's son. I can't wait to see it. Michael B. Jordan, y'all.
He's like, who's Creed? Who's Drago?
Yeah.
No, I know the main players.
Are these
I just haven't called
heavyweights,
them.
lightweights?
Yeah, right. But yeah, man, you know what? They're deep at that position, Mike, and I don't know, man. I hope this guy just isn't another Bobby Portis where he's all full of promise and no delivery. Man.
No, he's got much more than that. He's got a great makeup too as a person. He could have gone to Harvard out of high school, just education-wise. He was acting in plays in high school, so he's not just an all-basketball type of guy, which I like
Smart
to
player.
see. I like to hear.
I still say the best Duke player of all time. I don't know if you agree with me, Tim. Would
Christian
be
Laettner.
Grant Hill. How dare you? How dare you?
And for the record, Bobby Portis has good hands. Ask Nico Mirotic.
Yeah, you
got
can get
those
them hands, boy. You can get them hands, boy.
How awkward could that have been, or was that for, 2-3 months?
Well, the whole thing with Mirotic is they sided with Portis, man. They're like, get Mirotic out of here,
You
man.
got knocked out.
You got knocked the blank out for real, man.
Just sit there, take it or don't. Yeah.
And I'll actually hit on the next subject, Chandler Hutchison, who the Bulls got because they traded Mirotic to the New Orleans Pelicans. They got the number 22 pick.
That's right.
He's got a 7'2" wingspan. It's pretty impressive. He's a kind of 3-and-D guy, maybe more so 3-pointers than defense, but he's definitely got potential. At number 22, you're not risking much. I mean, like I said, they gave up Mirotic, so I mean, he's a guy that they're going to give some run this first year, and I mean, trade bait maybe, but I think he can definitely turn into someone who's maybe like a 10-point, 6-rebound guy within the next 2 to 3 years. And at number 22 in the draft, that's really, I mean, that's all you can ask for.
That still ain't going to be Golden State, man.
That's not. I mean, it's rebuilding, though, man. You know what is? And then who's the summer league pickup?
The entire
that they had?
NBA is rebuilding around Golden State.
Well, everybody is, man. Those are LeBron's doing. Wasn't there one more player that they got that didn't get? Was it didn't get drafted or what was that?
Yeah, he was undrafted. He's from Simeon, and then he went to Loyola Chicago.
Look at that local guy, man. He was in that run, right?
Dante Ingram. Yep.
Dante Ingram. He's going to be signed to the Vegas League, and hopefully, if he ends up playing in Hoffman Estates for the Windy City Bulls.
Where did he play at Marquette?
Loyola Chicago.
Oh, Loyola, yeah.
Ramblers, man.
Yeah, he was a Rambler.
Yeah, he hit the game winner against Miami in the first round.
Hey,
won 64-62.
What else you got? More basketball or?
No, I figured we'd talk a little Cubs and Sox.
Yeah, the Cubs were getting their ass kicked when I left.
Yeah, they lost all 3 so far against the Reds in this series. Thursday through tonight, and then the White Sox, I believe, lost Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, they're just that's null and void right there, man.
They're just at different stages as franchises. Right. I mean, the Cubs have rebuilt, and the White Sox are kind of following in their footsteps right now.
Yeah.
That's that, man. I mean, that's.
Are the games tomorrow?
Baseball.
Yeah, Cubs are at 12-10 against the Reds. They'll try and squeak one out, 1 of 4, which is pretty pathetic. But I think the White Sox are going maybe at 3:05.
Yeah, that's
against
about right.
the Athletics.
Yeah,
pesky Oakland.
Well, one guy that the White Sox have, who they actually got from the Cubs in the trade for Jose Quintana last summer, was Eloy Jimenez, and he just got called up to AAA for the White Sox. He is an absolute beast. I mean,
where does he play?
He's an outfielder. Quite frankly, if there's ever an injury concern, you just have to DH him because his hitting ability is just out of this world. I mean, he's got a story from down in the minors. It's almost straight out of a movie. I don't remember if it was an actual game or home run derby, but he knocked out a stretch of lights on a light pole. That's how far he hit it, like 490, 480. I don't want to give you a precise number, but I mean, he has got some power. And
crushing power.
He Glenn Allen Hilled it. Remember that?
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. He used to bust windows across the street on
Glenn Allen Hill, man, for the Cubs. Woo!
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to make a mark.
He was the first Vlad Guerrero. Like,
yeah,
he would swing across into the other box.
Right.
Hey, speaking of Vlad Guerrero, he's got his son that's in AAA or up and down with the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's always interesting if the offspring's going to be any good. I mean, obviously, Ken Griffey Jr. being one of the few exceptions.
Or Fielder,
far between.
Fielder Jr.
Right. Or Cecil Fielder Jr. There's been a few of them, man.
Cal Ripken.
Yeah, Ripken.
Well, Prince Fielder, rather. I call him Cecil Fielder Jr. Prince Fielder, man. Who's not in baseball anymore, man. Terrible heart condition, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But LeBron's kids, man. Is LeBron staying or going, Mike?
That's such a tough question. I think he stays for at least one more year.
Going to the Lakers? L.A. Bron, they're calling him?
That's the favorite right now. If you hit up Vegas, they're minus 325. You'd have to lay $325.
He's got the line, too. I love it, man.
Yeah, you'd have to lay $325 to win 100.
Damn.
You could wager on whether or not LeBron is going.
I might take that bet.
Yeah.
You think he'll go to the Lakers?
I heard Houston.
No, so if I put $325 down and he doesn't go to the Lakers,
that's on him going to the Lakers. So right now, that's 3-1 money that he's going to there.
I think at this point,
I wouldn't take that.
I think at this point, you're still making more money betting on McGregor, man, beating Mayweather, man. At this point, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but then it would be the Western Conference Finals against Golden State. It wouldn't be the championship.
Right.
He should just go to the Knicks, man, because New York needs to be the basketball East
the
Haven
bad boys
stuff,
again.
Man. I don't know, man. I mean,
how would you feel about him on the Bulls? Anybody who wants to chime in?
He can come to the Bulls if he wants.
I think that'd be cool, man. That'd be great.
I'll give you Markkanen. No, I actually would keep Markkanen. I would give you probably the next picks for the next 2-3 years, man, to get LeBron.
Man.
Easily.
If we still had Jimmy Butler.
Nah, man. Butler was never the reason that they got rid of Butler because he wanted a lot of money and he was never gonna be that guy that was gonna be completely solid throughout his career, man. He was gonna give you some flashes of brilliance, and then sometimes he was gonna be just let his emotions take over, man. And Tom Thibodeau works his players to death, and that's why he got fired, man, because he never gave these guys. He basically were even rehabbing D Rose the way he did, man. He broke him down just as fast. So
yeah, all
crazy.
right.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the craziest thing about Thibodeau and Butler is they're back together in Minnesota.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Thibodeau is running them straight into the ground again.
Of
Yeah.
course
Literally,
he is.
I mean,
That's what he does.
38 minutes a game. It's insane.
Stay up. Which is why the Bulls were having problems
Get
before.
on the floor.
Just to lose in the first round.
Right.
Exactly. They weren't going anywhere this year.
Yeah.
That's what I miss, man. I miss the Phil Jackson days. Luke,
Yeah.
Scotty, triangle.
Yeah. So, you got any final words on sports, man? Any golf or MMA, boxing,
Soccer.
UFC?
Besides, who's gonna win the World
Soccer,
Cup?
Mexico.
I'm gonna say
Go.
Mexico, definitely the dark horse. That's
Let's
the biggest
go.
dark horse. To win it all, that's tough.
How many teams are left?
Right now, every team is still technically in it. We're working our way down to the final 16 after every team plays their first 3 group stage games.
Yeah.
And then the top 2 teams from each group move on. And
so it's a best of 3 then, or what kind of like round robin situation?
you get 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw. Obviously, nothing for a loss. And then after those 3 games, the top 2 teams will move on.
I bet you that Donald Trump's going for the Russian team, man. So Putin can meet
believe
again.
that, yeah?
He'll probably invite the Russian national team once they win the World Cup and stuff to the White House and stuff. And
I mean, Vladimir Putin was playing Puppet Master this entire World Cup. They're in Russia. I mean, Russia's group had Saudi Arabia in it. Saudi Arabia, I don't think they play soccer besides the World Cup.
They kick rocks, man, but that's for a whole different. Those are torture reasons right there, I think, man.
Yeah. I mean, who was in the group? Saudi Arabia. One legitimate country, and then the other one was just nothing.
Angora,
Tunisia,
Egypt, maybe.
Good.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson's like, is this even a country? You're a gay.
You're a gay. Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
no
Good
problem,
stuff, my
guys.
friend.
Yeah. You're welcome back to come and do sports next week, man, if you're interested. So
Yeah, I can have some more prepared. This was just kind of flying off.
I also appreciate it. You know, I mean, it's kind of tough when we got other guests in the studio, but for sure, man, like you can come back. You're welcome anytime to come back and chat sport with us.
Absolutely. Appreciate that.
So we're down to our final 10 minutes of the show here, and I want to turn it over to the fellas here and see if we can propel them up with some beats and get them flowing here. Is that cool, or you guys?
Let's do it.
Let's throw a flow.
Okay, so I'm gonna play the God's Plan track.
Cool, yeah. So this is one I wrote a free verse to, and shot just a little fun.
So
video
this isn't
to.
on Wax Nowhere.
There's a YouTube video to this. No, this is not like literally. There's no physical copies of this, but it's on the internet. You can find it on SoundCloud or go to more.bandcamp.com. You can find it on my YouTube page too. I'd suggest that if you've seen the Drake God's Plan video, it's kind of a spoof on that.
Yeah.
It's so the concept of the video. So if you haven't seen it, the Drake concept is they got I think it's like $100,000 or $1 million budget or something for the video.
It's
and
$4 short of $1 million.
Okay, and they gave it all away, and that's the video. They're giving all the money away. So the concept for this video was we had like $99.96, and we spent it all on booze. And so it's just us, like the crew, just sitting at the house, chilling, drinking, and having fun, and shot the video that way.
Okay, cool. So we'll play that first. You can do your thing over that.
Cool.
And after that, I'm just gonna keep rolling some instrumentals, and then you guys decide who wants to throw in.
Cool. We'll do some freestyle off the top stuff after that.
Excellent. You're checking out more in Angrous right here at WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. Check this out. We're gonna play some God's Plan, and we'll see what's happening.
Check. How's the levels?
Levels good.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody listening to Chicago and on the internet. One edible, I think I'm starting to feel lit. 2 1-hitters, 3 drinks in it, it's safe to say we feel lit. Been a winner since still tipping, 4 drinks in, still sipping. Spend a fortune just to feel different. I'm eating, finally got a meal ticket. My skill in this is hard to match. I'm ill with it, I'll kill a track. Can't spare a meal, but I can spare a rack. We don't need to kill, we can spare our rack. Use words and actions instead of arms. The NRA, big pharma. Spread peace like Dalai Lama. My piece of titties like Dolly Parton. Live the vida local like Ricky Martin. Dope too loud, I beg your pardon. Scoring points like James Harden. Dreams of growing marijuana gardens. Got shares of cannabis stock. Canopy grow, can't be broke. I don't blow smoke, only talk real work. A few jobs paying these bills. Say what I feel, do as I need. This what I bleed. Love over greed, love over lust. Love to have love, gotta have trust. Shit, that's a must. Let's readjust. Switch the cadence up, I'm the greatest one. Got my savings up, getting faded, son. I don't play for fun, haven't made enough yet. Don't aim to upset, but if I do shit, that's what you get. Should've prepared, rappers beware. I'm taking your spot, taking your chair. I'm watching the throne, I aim to be there. I'm waving my hair, I'm raising my voice, raising my daughter to make good choices. Right now I'm full, but I'm taking appointments. I've been anointed, king of my bird. Watch city to city, you haven't heard. The sound is superb, flow is immaculate. Told you stop local, I'm thinking you're back in it. She put her back in it, I get the swag in it. Open hand smacking it. Has its advantages, I'm my own manager. Can't stop the profit, I'm J-Will the damager. Made it to pro from the amateurs, I won't be taken advantage of. Shout out my people in Canada, see no competitors. Never repetitive, no sleeping, no sedatives. I set the record straight, I don't say what I'ma do, I just demonstrate. Getting in better shape, pushing up every day. Getting my money right, I haven't gotten good sleep in 100 nights. I gotta finish though, I was so broke for so long it was pitiful. Now I'm like Pitbull, like Dale, let's get up and get it, yo. No fast food, no Popeyes, but I am out the spinach though. Got some medicinal, rocking this Penguin original. Can't pigeonhole me, only phony people try pitifully. Left them lonely, all my homies getting money. Throwing bony chicks wanna bone me, real no baloney. Keep it organic, karma don't panic. Life's hard to manage, I take advantage. I'm still standing, more raps than advantage. Yeah. Hard to see from my vantage point, I got the fattest joint so I'm elevated. Get a win, you should celebrate it. Back to it right after that, Meek rapper killer like back to back. Meek isn't those who inherit the earth. I'ma check how much your spirit is worth. I wear my heart on the sleeve of my shirt. That makes me feel like I'm Lil Uzi Vert. Yeah. Eating steak, skirt, pussy for dessert. My hand up a skirt, I'm making her proud. My body is buzzing, I'm off so loud. I see all the lights, and I rock for the crowd. Yeah. More, Watch City.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Laugh or else.
Damn, that was hot,
That's
dude.
what's up, man.
Appreciate it, man. Look.
Oh,
To it 2 a.m. vocals. I got the
This is freestyle time. That's why we have to freestyle.
This is our natural freestyle time too. We were literally like probably freestyling at this exact time last night in the streets of Chicago. So we'll take it back.
The only difference is that I'm not in a car this time. Normally I'm in a car.
Yo, Angrous, could I hit that water?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you, man?
Yeah, you need a drink after that hot one.
I feel that there's a lot of words in one.
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, there was a lot of syllables in there, man, for sure.
Yes, indeed, there was a lot of words, a whole lot of nouns, also verbs, adjectives, all around in a circle. Whenever they see me, they like, is that Steve Urkel? No, I think he's got a lot more swag. Swag? Please stop saying that, man. Way back in 2011, I remember I used to send them all to heaven. They wanna talk to the Reverend, ask them where they going. I say, I don't know, man, just gotta see the ocean. Send you out in the coffin, you know it's coffin. Whenever the boy's sick, they tell me that he really is nice with it. Yes, he is, never timid. Last night I lost my cool because I had a show and I was cool. Everybody that I saw in the crowd, I had to say what up and they cheered loud. It was dope. Now I'm about to pass it on over to more. He about to go Jehovah, sorta like Jesus. Please don't ever see it. If you see the boy, he don't believe in nothing, like he's Ebenezer.
Yeah, like I'm Ebenezer, eating salad, no Caesar, cause I'm trying to cut the cheese out, but I getting cheese now when I rock a show. I'm just doing this flow off the top of the dome, and you know that it wasn't rehearsed like that last verse that you heard from me. I don't show mercy against other MCs, man. I do what I do when I rep for my crew, and anybody wanna battle, it's gonna be a sad day. Yeah, I'll keep dancing like it's ballet around these other rappers who try and do it. I just keep it fluid, and I always keep it moving. I just do it how I do it. These other dudes try to Yeah, they just try too much. I'm like, I just puff too much sometimes. I got some rhymes all day, Monday, Sunday to the next Sunday. And one day you might know, but if you don't now you do. Like a Biggie song, like it was juicy. Yeah, I hold on loosely like I don't know who it was, maybe Boston. I went to Austin, Texas and did a show. It was South by Southwest and did it again the next year. And I'm chilling with my friend, his name's Angrous. You can pick it up right now to do something heinous. He's got no headphones though, so I'ma pass him off. Yeah, he can hear the beat and it's not soft. So yo, just pick it up on this next bar. I know that Angrous could do it cause he's a damn star.
I explore the tomb like I'm Laura Croft. When they walk up to me, they say he's not soft. Unless they poke me in the stomach like the Pillsbury Doughboy. But they say he has a lot of dope, boy. Please don't ever stop it. When he blasting off, he is just like a rocket. And I'm the boss man like I'm Spacely Sprocket. You already know I walk in like the Jetsons, feeling like I could just set it off, like Set It Off, Queen Latifah and what's her name, Jada Pinkett. When they see the guard, they like, is that the guard? Yes, he is, but I swear he's like CeeLo and that other guy. They were the odd couple. It didn't come together, but it's cool. I'm like Barney Rubble. I'm never playing sidekick, but I will kick your side if you get out of pocket.
Out of pocket, I pick it up like a rocket, and I don't even know if that makes sense, but now I got the headphones on so I can hear the beat once again. Not pretend like I was hearing it before, but like you heard, yo, my last name's Moore, and that's the name that I go by, and you know that because that's a fact. And a matter of fact, I spit raps all the time. This rhyme isn't something that's new for me. I'm the glue all together like I hold it together, and whether or not I'm sober, I could do this all off the top of the dome. So it's so late and the beat's stopping, but we could do a new one if you want to hip hop it or not. We could stop, Tim. It's up to you. Let me know right now what you're trying to do.
The acapella is through.
I thought you knew.
Man, dude.
Boom, son.
Blowing it up.
Can I make a request?
Request?
Not for a beat. I just want to rap acapella if that's cool.
Oh, we're out of time, dude.
It's all right. It's all right. I just wanted to ask.
I don't want to step all over this dude's set because we got a Rise Radio coming in here next.
For sure, I got you.
Respect.
So before we go though, you can get your shots out more. I'll give you a chance to lay it out there, and then Angrous, and then we'll wrap.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's So again, Moore representing Watch City. That's Moore. You can find me on all social media platforms at Moore Watch City. So Moore Watch, like a wristwatch city, Moore Watch City. And you can also find me at morewatchcity.com, Spotify, iTunes, all that.
Excellent. And Angrous?
Yeah, you can just find me under my name on basically anything. So just search my name, Angrous. I do have a weekly series called Throw a Flow Tuesdays. I do every Tuesday. I make new music. I perform it for people. People tell me they like it. Maybe you like it too. That's my Instagram.
Excellent. We'll definitely check that out. And Mike, say goodbye, sir.
Laugh
or else.